And we are live. We're here to chat about tonight's episode of Suits, which was apparently entitled Whale Hunt, which I learned approximately 10 seconds ago. I knew that beforehand because I had to put it in the description and then immediately forgot. And I was like, what was that called again? Like last week was Rocky 8. This can't be Rocky 9. Or was last I don't know. Anyways, it was called Whale Hunt. I understand why. But it was episode 12, season 7, which is very exciting. Season 8. I'm getting the nod from Shana. Wow. Believe it or not, I know everything else except the title of tonight's episode. It was really, it was a doozy. I was looking forward to this. I was looking forward to seeing some reveals and seeing Miss Donna and Thomas together. I was very much looking forward to seeing what would happen with Katrina and Brian. There was a lot that we covered tonight's episode. We got to meet Alex's wife. You know, there was just Shana, would you like to kick us off with your rating, your initial scale from 1 to 5 sense of tonight's episode?
It's like whatever it was last week minus 0.1 for being on the same level 2 weeks in a row.
I think last week you gave it a 2. Does it
1.9 then, babe?
Okay.
We're not here for it right now.
Okay. Everybody watching live as well, if you want to drop your rating in the chat on a scale from 1 to 5. 1 being terrible, you couldn't stand anything about it, and 5 being perfect. I would say tonight's episode was a crisp, I'll give it a good 3. It would actually be higher because I thought there were some storylines that were pretty good. Like, yeah, Rachel's giving it a 4 out of 5. It would almost have got there for me, except for the fact that I had my hopes up on a couple things that didn't pan out. So let me tell you why it got there and it wasn't like around a 1 for me. I actually do enjoy the Brian and Katrina storyline. I know that's super controversial. I'm so sorry. I do not watch this show for moral purity. I do not care if they are not honoring the sacred institution of marriage. I'll honor it in real life. On this show, I don't need y'all to do that. I thought they were adorable. So that kind of helps the episode that they were in it and that was addressed, and then it kind of hurts the episode that it sounds like that's the end of that storyline. I, for one, kind of liked it, but maybe we can get a different romance on Suits, like Harvey and Donna, perhaps. I don't know. Yes, Rachel says she loves Craig from Degrassi. Apparently, Shana, you mentioned that that's who he is. Yeah, Craig from Degrassi is Brian. And then we had, the Harvey and Lewis thing. It wasn't particularly engaging for me. Like, I wasn't like, oh, I love this conflict between the two of them, because it was a little repetitious, but it wasn't like bad. Like, I've seen some storylines with the two of them. It just feels like frustrating or bad. Like, there was a point to it. The Donna and Thomas thing, I last week didn't mind his introduction, if you recall. I sort of was like, okay, at least he's funny. And then we were kind of sold this idea of like, oh, it's going to be like this like independent girl boss thing for Donna where she gets to like have her own storyline and like, yeah, go live your life, whatever. And then they like introduced it this episode and this guy was kind of like pushy and cocky and annoying. And on the one hand, I'm like, that's fine because A, Donna's into cocky men, obviously. B, we don't want Thomas to be legitimately better than Harvey. So, like, he can't set too high of a bar. Like, he has to have flaws. But, like, sis, were you not, like, Shana, back me up here. Were we not sold, like, some sort of independent feminist storyline here?
We were, like, from what I recall, there were some interactions on Twitter, I think, that were talking about how, like, because, I mean, it was like 2 or 3 seasons ago. I don't know, man. It's been a long, long run. That a lot of us were upset that Donna had no story other than in relation to these men. So what they did was in season 7, they gave her the COO thing, and then nothing. And then now they're like, well, now we're going to show you her personal life, except it revolves around a pushy man. Like, he made reservations before she said yes because he was so like the stalker guy on You that he's like, oh, let me be romantic by manipulating you.
Right. Are
and
they
too, like, there's a very
you get the vibe that they're trying to make him like a male Donna?
a little bit, yeah, a little bit.
Okay, that's not just me. Okay, good.
And the other thing is, this show is really actually terrible about this because they go the wrong way with it. There's a very fine line between this idea, like, yes, you do have to have room in your personal life for your personal life. Like, it can't just be all work. And we've seen Katrina, they've painted her as, well, she's driven, so she can't, she's got to be socially awkward. And then you have Donna, and they're supposedly selling us this whole, she's an independent woman now because she basically told her boss to go fuck himself. And that's not really how this works either. Like, yes, she deserves Donna time, but like,
the show operates in extremes sometimes, in cases where extremes aren't necessary to have a good story. So you have Donna going from, I won't date any client, to I will date only client, or like, I won't date anybody I work with, to I will only date people I work, like, you have that. You have Donna going from being a secretary to like, Donna, we thought she was a girl boss when she was a secretary, so we have to keep one-upping her girl bossness, and so she's gonna flirt with the client and date the client and put the client in his place and all this sort of stuff. And I'm like, bro, like, you don't have to keep breaking what isn't broken. And I'm not saying leave Donna the way she was, or leave anybody the way they were, or leave Katrina the way, like, absolutely not. Give them a storyline, but it doesn't have to be this huge shock factor every week of like, and then look what they did. Like, we can have a storyline that addresses the fact that Katrina is this super overworked, driven, focused person, probably with like baggage. She's like pitched everything on work or whatever type of thing, without it being, and like, first off, I say this as somebody who likes Brian and Katrina. Okay. But like, playing devil's advocate against myself, by virtue of we can do something other than extremes. We can do that in a way other than, okay, and then 2 weeks after she, has this, what was he, her associate or whatever? 2 weeks after she basically hires her first associate, she fires her first associate because she gets too attached. Like, surely we can find a happy medium. Like, surely you can just not go work at his house anymore. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Maybe like, it was just so stupid too, because I mean, like, she knew she had a thing for him, right? But then she's like, here, smell my perfume wrist. Like, come on.
Right? Like, have you never watched any rom-com? Like, just maybe don't sniff your coworkers. Like, why don't we start that? Except for Harvey and Donna.
I'm sorry.
But like, I feel like there's some big, I don't know, man.
It's just bad writing. It's bad.
It's extreme writing. It's this constant one-upmanship of like, we got to do something to keep you, like, give me good storylines about people. Like, and Brian and Katrina could absolutely be sold as a good storyline. Frankly, Thomas and Donna could have been sold as a good storyline, probably more like around season 2 or 3 or something like that, where we're trying to, create this. What is Donna like in her personal life, and what is Harvey like in his personal life? And you have this sort of tension, and we get all the tropes, jealous this and, whatever that. And then their significant other realizes that they were actually closer to each other. And, and we've all seen it. They could have gone that route. Would have been really fun to see for Harvey and Donna at some point. But at this point, we only have 14 episodes left, and we're wasting them with Donna dating Christian Grey. So I don't know, like, forgive me if I'm not super, it's like Christian Grey mixed with a really bad version of male Donna, and then just like a sprinkle of Harvey. And also, he's not really that cute. Like, he's just a little bit tall, but that's not the same thing as being cute. I don't know, man.
It's just that, like, yeah, like, he's a little bit of Harvey, but the worst parts of Harvey, and he's a little bit of Donna, but awkwardly and just pathetically so. But I mean, okay, granted, like a male version of Donna is going to be less than the female version because,
right.
But like, it's
because women are better than men. That's why.
Right. Like honestly, the only two like really strong moments in this entire episode that made any sense were like Alex basically saying, "I'm terrified of strong women," and Gretchen meeting Harvey. Like that.
Yeah.
That's.
I love the scene with Gretchen. See, okay, I can give this episode like a solid whole point just for the Gretchen and Harvey bit alone. I thought that was fantastic. And then the way it was just sort of casually woven in there that Donna has plans tonight. Gretchen knew what she was doing. I know Gretchen knew what she was doing. She was coming, you know, like doing her piece to solve Donna's issue. She was the one that told Donna to like go off, you know, like say yes to this dumb guy, whatever, right? It's just so Donna can like get it out of her system, right? And then Gretchen's using this to parent trap them. Convince me I'm wrong. Oh, also, I'm just going to jump in the chat because there's quite a lot going on there too, agreeing with both of us. A lot agreeing with Shana, calling the guy a stalker. Thomas is his name, apparently. Gretchen was the true MVP this week. Samantha Voss says, I love that she put Harvey in his place. Yes. Rachel C. says, I do think the Donna and Thomas storyline is to make Darby admit their feelings for each other. I think so too. At least I hope so.
We've done that.
Yeah. Stephanie says, Rachel, I want to believe this so much, but I'm scared after a million seasons. Samantha says, well, we only have one more season. There's a good shot it will happen. Rachel C. agrees that Darby is endgame. And she says, the perfume scene was so sensual when he closed his eyes. Haha, I love Craig. That's so funny. So I never watched Degrassi, but apparently y'all see him as Degrassi. To me, he's like Brian the intern or whatever he was first. Mitchell and Donna sounded great, Stephanie says. And then I've got a few comments in the chat about my advice to not sniff your coworkers. I will stand behind that. Please don't. Like, that was I get the like it's okay. I'm gonna give the writers props. Like a perfume storyline, as it like if you if you are put in the position where you're having to write like sexual tension between lawyers, having them have to argue a case that's related to perfume, like I hope whoever came up with that is proud of themselves because that was a real reach. Like that was so funny.
The problem is something that's supposed to be dramatic. It's just a joke. It's objectively bad writing.
Well, it's like it does make me feel like I do wish we had had a scene like that for Harvey and Donna at one point. And I'm not going to say I would have taken that even seriously either. And I say this with love, by the way. When I say I didn't take Brian and Katrina seriously, I do also, like, on some level take them seriously because I thought they had / have potential to be adorable. I don't know if their storylines wrapped up or continue with it or whatever. But they were kind of, you know, we often complain that, like, Harvey and Donna are almost, like, so serious and subtle to the point of saying nothing. And then you have like Lewis and everybody he's ever dated, which is just like an overt joke thrown in your face type of thing. Like it can't really be taken serious as romance. And Brian and Katrina were right in between there, right? They had the Harvey and Donna style setup, but they weren't like a true Harvey and Donna copy. It was just a similar setup. They had a lot of angst. They have that whole like star-crossed situation where, you know, nothing's ever going to happen with them, right? Or I don't know. There's a few more episodes this season, but like probably not. They're just going to stay angsty and like go their separate ways, whatever. But they also have that funniness of like Katrina's awkwardness and then like Brian's kind of goofy. Like, I don't know. I thought they were a good vibe for this show, but I do want them to like stay angsty. Like I want to keep it there.
Like honestly, the people that are watching that have also seen Degrassi know what's up here. Like I'm just waiting for Brian to pull out a guitar and start singing. Like he is so like quintessential Craig already. Like I just need him to start singing some Taking Back Sunday while he's strung out. Like he's so Craig.
So like help me out here, Rachel in the chat. Shana, etc., who know of Brian as Brian from Degrassi. Like, what character was he? Because I cannot picture him as anything other than kind of like a goofy, fresh-faced lawyer.
He was like a goofy, fresh face wannabe band, like in a rock band kid who like actually played music. And that's what I'm saying. Like Taking Back Sunday actually guested at one point, and he was like gonna go on tour with them, but then he like got into drugs, and there's like a whole episode. It's like, what's it feel like to be a ghost? And it's but he was like just goofy and fresh faced kind of.
Okay. All right.
It's serious.
Maybe he'll serenade Katrina at some point, and I'll be able to take that scene mildly more serious. Here's the thing. Let me tell you what got to me about the perfume scene. So, like, you're supposed to be like, okay, let's buy into the premise with me, everyone. Those in the chat, Shana, those of you watching later. I just want to like buy into this premise that you are having your job, your many figures worth of money that you're getting paid. You're having to distinguish between perfumes, right? And to do so, right, we're all suspending disbelief. We're going to go along with it, right? To do so, you must spray said perfume on your own wrists and have a coworker smell it with his eyes closed, right? So we're all just going to pretend that's perfectly normal, right? Let me tell you where you lost me, right? Because like you put thought into that premise, and then she held her wrists out like that, and I'm like, but they're right next to each other. Like I was gonna suspend disbelief up until then, but then you put your wrist, like, you gotta do one at a time. You could still fake the romantic tension or like sell the romantic tension, whatever, but like don't put your wrist next to. Also, don't smell your coworkers, but if you must, like, I don't know, man. Rachel says he cheated on his girlfriend and Degrassi got Manny pregnant.
He did.
Oh, yeah. And she says she likes Brian and Katrina as well. They have chemistry. It just sucks that he's married. Yeah, I mean, you win some, you lose some. It's like, I mean, the win is the marriage for him, although the show doesn't take marriage seriously, which is fair in fictional world, I guess. Whatever. But I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, go ahead.
The biggest problem is infidelity, right? Like that's how it's been set up since one, and yet it doesn't take.
That's like supposed to be Harvey's biggest hang up, and I get that that's probably why they have like affair storylines so often. But like, can Katrina catch a break for once? Like, there are more men out there than Brian. Brian, like
Craig.
I mean,
I'm gonna find you a video after this, and you're gonna watch it. I'm just gonna.
Stephanie says, if you must smell your coworkers, smell their wrists separately. Okay, noted. That is our takeaway, boys and girls. That's our takeaway. Don't date your clients. Don't sniff your coworkers. Maybe don't even play poker with your coworkers. I can't really think of anything anybody did related to work this episode that you should ever do. So yeah, maybe Samantha, you can emulate her a bit. Samantha, has she grown on you at all?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, like I mean, like I didn't want anything to do with her before the season started, and by 10, I was like, that's my bitch. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. I liked her working together with Alex's wife. I thought that was fun. Like, of all of the hashtag girl boss storylines we have been marketed / sold / not really been given this season, I would say that's probably one of the better ones.
I feel like, honestly, at this point, the only person who's not a colossal screw up is Samantha.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Rachel C agrees with you. She says, I love Samantha. Katherine Heigl is a great addition to Suits. Yeah, I think they've really done a great job with her so far. Yeah, Stephanie says Samantha was great and was actually working another novel concept. Like, yeah. Can you tell I've had a really long day? Wow. Also, explanation for why I'm wearing a giant dress shirt on top of a t-shirt. It's cold. There's your explanation. The end.
Moon. That's why we go with the giant fleece robe.
Mm-hmm.
She's comfy and warm in cold times.
Mm-hmm.
It's fashion, y'all.
It has been crazy cold by Southern standards. I know it's very cold for every one of you out there, wherever you are. It's been a cold snap kind of all around. Gotta love climate change. So hope everybody's staying safe and warm. I hope everybody liked at least something in tonight's episode. I'm guessing at least most of you liked the Samantha and Alex's wife storyline a little bit. Even if the Donna and Thomas thing disappointed. Here's the thing. I'll leave you with a little bit of silver lining. The Donna and Thomas thing disappointed. The Donna and Thomas thing being disappointing is a little bit of a good thing, because I will say, and I hope this isn't controversial, it's 2019, I don't think this is controversial anymore. There's been times like the show Castle, which introduced a male love interest for the female lead, and the male love interest, it was like one of them. There was one they had that was so good, like so nice, so noble, so like everything good at a time when the eventual male love interest for her, like the long-term one, was like so annoying and terrible that it made me actively root for her new love interest, right? Because he was like funny and cool and noble and had good moral, all that sort of stuff. So I'm just glad they didn't go there here, because I wouldn't have done it. I would have rooted for Harvey anyways, but it would have been frustrating if they had actually like given her someone who like treated her like a true queen and was really, really funny and, you know, wasn't like cocky, obnoxious, a replication of her, you know, whatever. So like the fact that he has some flaws is good. He doesn't have a ton of flaws, so it wasn't like she's going for the worst person in the entire world. Like she has some sense, right? But he has some, and that's going to be enough for us to root for somebody other than him, which I would have done anyways, even if he had been perfect, but that would have been annoying.
Does she have sense at this point, though, from a relationship standpoint? Because I'm going to go with hot mess.
I don't really feel like it's as hot of a mess as it could be. Like, this could be way worse. She could be, you know, dating some, like, asshole who, I don't know. There's a lot. Like, it could be way worse. I've seen worse on TV shows. Like, I've seen people date worse characters than him. The bad things about Thomas are that he is a little over cocky, and he kind of seems like he's just trying to overcompensate. He kind of has dad jokes rather than being legitimately funny, but like thinks he's funny, and his confidence seems to come across as pushiness. It's not just like normal overconfident cockiness. It's like it translates to pushiness, which is probably part of the fact that he's a businessman and is supposed to be in charge of stuff or whatever. But those are like his main flaws. But at the same time, like, he's not terrible to her, treats her nice, thinks well of her, walked her home, you know, like, could be worse. Could be better, could be worse.
When you pine for a dude for that many years and interrupt his relationship and then tell him you felt nothing when everyone knows you did, and then you go out with this guy, I don't know that sense is a word that we can apply.
I feel like there's too much she can lose. Like, there's too much for Donna to lose. She can't just tell Harvey how she feels, because they would never be able to work this. Like, I get it. There's too much at stake here. Samantha says, did anyone pick up that Gretchen told Harvey Donna was going out, but Donna lies in the promo to Harvey about why she was late to work? God, I did not pick up on that, but that's another thing to look forward to. Harvey and Donna fighting over the fact that Donna has a personal life.
And is a liar.
I hate this, because they don't, like, everybody thinks the concept of jealous Harvey would be, like, fun and fresh and interesting. And it could be in mild doses in seasons 2 and 3, possibly, if, like, done well. But it's season 8, and it's not done well, and we've seen him be jealous before. It's never that fun. Like, it's not the cool, like, it could be, but it's not. Rachel says he's not Stephen Huntley. Example, like the worst possible choice. However, she's rushing into it. She slept with him on the first date. Gretchen did tell her to get her freak on. She's only slept with Harvey once, but so in love. Yeah. I mean, I don't really care about the sleeping on whatever date type of thing. I in terms of like my evaluation of like romantic relationships on TV, I don't, this is probably unpopular, but I completely discount like the sex part, right? I'm really just here for the romance. I don't really care one way or the other about the like, do they sleep together the first episode that they go out, or the third episode, or whatever the translation is for that. Like, could not care less. In terms of romance, there is like some light, mild romance between Donna and Thomas, but their main like tie is really just their sort of dynamic of trying to, I don't know, it's like she likes being bossed around. Shana.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's not.
Oh goodness.
It's just bad. Like it's bad.
Yeah. What a disappointing conclusion to come to.
And he like tried to make it romantic though. The fact that he like clearly went against her wishes more or less, right? Like, and again, that's like very toxic behavior. Like if I wanted to see a guy who thinks he's the romantic hero that's really being manipulative and controlling, I would watch You or Twilight.
I watched You. I've got one more episode left of it. I'm like on the last episode of it. Anyways, yeah.
Your story, but
Pearson. What now?
Pearson.
Yeah, I'm super excited about Pearson. Love the promo for it. That's up on my Twitter somewhere. If anybody's interested, I think it aired during this episode as well. Once, maybe twice. Love that. Super excited about that. Love the name of it as well. I guess the positive moral that we're taking away from tonight's episode is that Samantha is getting work done. This is fun and fresh. And the negative moral that we're taking away from tonight's episode is that Donna likes being bossed around in romantic relationships, which I suppose does make sense, as she and her boss have been in love with each other for 13 years.
Yeah.
Oh, how fun.
But this was going to be like an OMG, Donna getting her girl power on thing. I like feel really betrayed.
It's not like a girl power storyline. Like
there's never like, well, I mean, this is what happens when we have men writing women and thinking they're writing girl power because they drop oh, you're both strong women line. Like
truly, like it's like, oh, the most feminist thing Donna can do is go get laid. Not really. No,
not really.
Like enjoyed the feminism of her promotion. That was kind of cool. Enjoyed her admitting her feelings to Harvey. Looking forward to that. That would be being an independent advocate. Rachel says, when does Pearson come on air? Has not had a release date yet. Stephanie says, in Canada, we got snow shoveling promos instead. I'm not even kidding. Wow. No shoveling promos. We haven't seen a hint of snow in this godforsaken city, and yet everybody wants to shut down constantly. The governor declared a state of something or other, and there's no snow at all, not a single flake. Rachel says 3 more episodes left for the rest of the season. We still have Scotty appearing in the episode 16 final seconds. We'll maybe get Darby. I'd bet on it. Also suggests that Katrina put her profile up on OkCupid. She's sad. Yeah, Katrina, there's more fish in the sea. Like, go, like, exit the office building.
You're not going to get this, but she should look for like Jimmy or Spinner or somebody other than Craig.
Yeah, I do not understand that, but I will endorse your statement.
Thank you. As far as I know, they're not married, so
there's a good first start. That I for one don't have to worry about any of that. Thank God. The joys of
not caring.
Of what now?
Not caring.
Oh, I was gonna say the joys of being married myself. Not having to worry about any of the OkCupid discussion. Stephanie also says Harvey is now in a relationship with Lewis and Donna is in a relationship with Christian Grey, and that's fair. Rachel says spinners with Emma, which I assume means something to Shana, probably.
Really? Huh. Okay, Jimmy it is then.
There you go. Well, on that note, thank you guys for joining me. Thank you, Shana, for joining me. I don't know. I mean, I kind of want to rip on this episode, but at the same point, I really enjoyed discussing it way more than I enjoyed discussing last week's episode. I thought this was fun. There were some new, cool things to discuss. They gave us some material to work with. There's some positives. If you have any further comments or questions or thoughts or theories or whatever, you can always find both me and Shana on Twitter, and her information is in the description down below. And thank you for spending your 30 minutes after Suits with me and Shana to chat about your thoughts and feelings. And we will see you all next week for episode 13, the third from the final episode of the last full season of Suits. Bye.